I decided to make this video based upon some discussions I've been listening to concerning evolution and the creationists as they make their points of debate. I also wanted to clarify some points I've made when I did my video on the 3 miracles of science, and there may be some confusion with that. So first I'll set that straight. It is not that I am against or even do not believe necessarily the factions of science that I put forward. I was just pointing out the improbabilities of some of the purely scientific methods of explaining the reality we are experiencing. More needs to be added to that, and I also expressed that of it when I did my video on the scientific dogmas that seems to be creeping in. It is not that I do not believe in the Big Bang. The point I make about it is that once we believe in something, that we seek or don't seek anything that falls outside of that belief. So as far as the Big Bang is concerned, it may or may not have been, and it's nothing I concern myself with that deeply. Now onto this aspect of evolution versus creationist. We have to look at the truth in the matter and what physical evidence we can find and the reality which we perceive. And here we have 2 sides. The sides of evolution show a fossil record which seems to depict a natural selection of evolution. On the other side is the fantastic design of life in the human body as it stands now. So the way I see it, and that's the way I'll put it forth in this video, my opinion and what I observe of both realities without the dogma of either, is that there was a progression of design to what we have now. However, I do not fully believe that design was purely at the random chance of natural selection. Here I believe the conscious elements within the universe played the part. In this you may think creationist and a God being designing. But I do not hold to the absolute religious dogmas of the concepts of God that there are held. My understanding of what that is does not fit within the religious ideas, although I've tried to explain this a bit more in all that is. It should be enough for now to know that we can see the design and we can see the evidence. So putting these together, I'm going to suggest or give you a little metaphor. It's a story to try to help illustrate what I mean. So let's take, for example, a computer that we've built, sometime in the future maybe, where we have made the design so well that it appears to have gained consciousness. And from the computer's point of view, it can look at its databases and see that it was created, and that that creation was obviously by design. But also within that database, it's going to look back into history. I'm using this example because that history we have now, and there's no dispute on it. It looks back, it finds when the vacuum tube was created, and that by experiment they were able to put this vacuum tube and touch a circuit that created 2 states, on and off. This alone was not much, and very little he understood about what to do with it, but in ingenuity we came out with a new idea. If we put more of these together, we could create a code which can hold information, and that information can then be used for a variety of things, and on it went. First a simply adding machine, then the technological breakthrough of transistors, then printed circuits. And slowly this idea evolved, became a more complicated machine, better processor, all working from the previous designs in a sense of what was before it, but adding into it what would make it better. A 16-bit computer came out, then a 32, then a 64, and on it went with its evolution. And side by side with this evolution was also the evolution of software. But both can be seen in that process of evolution, even though the design had an intelligence behind it. And here's where I'll put our design, and believe it much more fits in to the ideas put forth by Rutherford Sheldrake and the principles of the morphogenetic field. To me that explains how the design process can work to create the forms of such magnitude within the time frames that it has had to do so. Again, this is my opinion, and what my observation of both science and the outcomes of reality are now. In many ways I try to put some of this trivial stuff behind me and focus on what is now to really understand some of the truer meanings of what reality is about. Thank you.